I've been using the Finder to look at files and folders in the last few segments, and I shall continue to do so. But here, what we're going to do is to focus directly on the Finder and what you can do with it, its preferences, menu commands, and the ways in which you can navigate, because there are now more ways than ever before to navigate through the files and folders on your computer. Let's start by looking at the toolbar up here at the top of every Finder window. That is, it's at the top of every Finder window unless you decide to hide it. But if it's not hidden, it's up there. It can be customized, and remember that toolbars are customized from the View menu, and I can come in here and drag items up, drag items down, put commonly used actions up here, or what I can do is bring the default toolbar up here, so I'm back with what I have. All of that means if you don't see the toolbar, it's because it's hidden. And if it doesn't look like this, it's because it's been customized. So I'm going to walk through what you will see in the default toolbar when it is not hidden. And we'll start over here with the left and right arrows. These are the same as navigation arrows in a browser. So if I'm interested in looking at files and folders, maybe I want to go into my Documents folder. I'm in icon view now, notice. And it's a bit circular because I have to talk about these, and then I'll come over here. But these are the different ways of displaying information in the Finder. I could come in here and select one. I can go back to where I was previously, just like in a browser. Here I have the buttons that let me control how the files and folders are displayed, as icons, as a list, or in columns. Now, icons are the most space intensive. You can see much less in a window without scrolling, but it's a very good way of organizing things. The list view gives you a very compact view, and what's very interesting about it is that you can look at information such as the modification date for a folder as well as for its contents. Whereas if we're in columns view, the most compact view of all, I can look at information over here about individual files and folders, but I can't see the information about multiple files and folders and their enclosing folder and its enclosing folder at the same time, which is what I can do over here in list view. Each of these views has its own benefits for what you're trying to do, and many of us use one view or another most of the time, but then switch to another view periodically. And up here is our new feature, Cover Flow, which, let me come back into icon view so you can see when I go into Cover Flow, what's happened is I'm going down here into list view at the bottom, and I can look through the files and folders, and I can see icons for documents, and if the operating system can do so, and the application has been set up to do so, then I can look at the images of what's inside a document or a folder. And what I'm doing here is I'm not bothering to drag this. I'm moving my fingers on a trackpad back and forth, which lets me go quickly through this. Over here is another feature here, Quick Look, which lets me look at selected files or folders. And let me select several of them here. I'm holding down the Shift key to make multiple selections. I've now got the ability to look at each of these items, and again, I'm looking inside the documents. I'm also looking at information about the file or the folder. I can switch into what's called an index sheet and look at them. Go back into individual views. I can go to full screen. I can go back out of full screen, or I can go into full screen and then close this window. So this is a powerful tool. Again, over and over I'll say it because that's what's happening in Mac OS X. Easier ways to find information. Here is an icon that you'll see in many interface elements, and it is a list of the tasks that can be done with whatever happens to be selected. It's like a contextual menu for whatever is selected. Over here is the search field, and this is going to get its own segment of the tutorial because search, again, is very powerful and expanded in Mac OS X Leopard. You know, one of the things that's happening, the reason why I'm emphasizing these search tools and why Apple is providing these search tools is that we have multiple gigabyte hard drives now. Many of us have stopped removing files from our hard disks. What I found myself is, yes, I remove files that are no longer needed, but as I upgrade a computer every few years, and I found for my primary computer it's about every 3 to 5 years, one of the reasons I do it is because the hard drive is starting to get full. And I find that if I upgrade, the storage capacity of the new computers is such that I don't have to worry about archiving files. So many of us have accumulated a large number of files, and we need ways to organize them. And that's what all modern operating systems are doing. So those are the basic commands that are up here in the toolbar. Now let's go up to the menu bar and look at the menus in the Finder.